Okay, first and foremost, in order for any of my views to really be understood, I have to first give a background on exactly where it is that I'm coming from in relationship to reality, and especially reality in terms of how I see the world, and reality in terms of how I see my people in relationship to the world. I am African American. I was born in Brooklyn and come from a Southern family background. My family, my mother's side was in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and my father was in Charleston, South Carolina. My father passed away when I was in high school, and my mom is alive today, doing well. Um, the way that I see reality is you have various groups of people on this planet, um, each one fighting for some type of control over their environment. That's where you get the concepts of nations and groups and peoples and ethnic, this divisive stuff that everybody talks about. But it's not really divisive if you look at it from a natural sense. It's like when you have the animal kingdom, you have different animals all living together in this jungle, so to speak, but they're living together in a sense that they all share the same jungle, but they don't live together in the sense that you don't have tigers living with lions. You don't have cross species just living and congregating amongst each other. Basically, they're all separated according to their species, according to their kind. And I don't see anything wrong with that. I think that we can all share this earth, share this planet, and if we choose to interact with others from other races and anything like that, there's nothing wrong with it. But there's nothing wrong with wanting to be amongst your kind. I don't see that as racist in the sense of whatever that means, because we know that the concept is convoluted to begin with. But so that's my reality in the sense that I am totally for and about my people. But at the same time, I'm a humanist in the sense that I believe that if you're on this earth, you should enjoy the earth's resources. I don't believe in this concept of if you have this group of resources over here, this is ours and somebody over there can't have it, because what that does is that creates the wars. Nobody's going to do without. If you don't have something and somebody else has it, you're going to go and get what they have if you need it to survive. So to avoid all of that, I think that we should have a general philosophy amongst all people in the world that the world's resources belong to everybody. So if somebody is lacking in an area, the person with the most should get together and try to get those resources to the person that doesn't have them. This benefits us all. Because if we continue to do what we've been doing for the last thousands or so of years, there's going to be war after war after war, and there will never be any peace. Which is why I tend to agree with the overall philosophical aspects of Zeitgeist Addendum. And I know that that's created a problem in the so-called patriot movement, because you have patriots U.S. patriots who believe that the government is corrupt and that the government is no good. But then when you come to them with any type of anarchist thinking, saying, well, why don't we get rid of the government? And they're like, whoa, hold on, what do you mean? What do you mean get rid of the government? They're like, I mean get rid of the corrupt thing that you've been fighting against. That's what I mean. And somehow they can't put the two, that cause cognitive dissonance. They don't understand that the very thing that you're fighting against is what I'm trying to get rid of, so that you don't have to fight it anymore. But I guess they figure that the fight is just woven into the fabric of their reality, and they feel like that's the way it's supposed to be. But I don't see it that way. I believe in that saying that the reasonable man adapts to the world that's around him, and the unreasonable man expects the world to adapt to him. Therefore, all progress is made by the unreasonable man. I don't believe in adapting to bullshit. If something is wrong, fix it. And let's deal with the way things are supposed to be instead of the way that things are. So that's where I'm coming from in terms of overall philosophy, humanist philosophy. In terms of my people, what my biggest thing is that I've been preaching online for I don't know how many years. Our people, especially here in America, that's specifically what I'm talking about, have to develop a social, economic, and political infrastructure in our communities. What do I mean by that? I mean that we have to control the social, the economics, and the politics of our community. In other words, basically do what every other group in this country has done so far. And, as odd as it may be, every other group has managed to control their community without having a black politician, or I shouldn't say a black politician, but a politician or a government official to co-sign it first. They did not have to do that. They didn't have to get any politicians. They didn't have to vote. This stuff was put into place before a vote was even cashed into this system or a politician was elected. Because voting in politicians and involvement in the political process comes after your social, economic, and infrastructure is created. So that you can interact with the system to obtain certain gains that fulfill the interest of your community. So, in other words, they didn't put the cart before the horse. They didn't vote people in the office and then sit back expecting them to do something and hope that the community would form itself by osmosis. That's not how it works. That's not intelligent. It's not well thought out. And I've been trying to drill this concept into my people's head for the longest. We have to develop our own infrastructure, and this has zero to do with the political system of the United States. Zero. Nothing to do with it. And if you want to look for what I'm talking about, or an example of what I'm talking about, look no further than, let's say, the Korean community, the Italian community, the Irish community, the Chinese community, the Spanish, Mexican, Latin community, to a great degree the Caribbean community. I mean, even though like these are, I don't make any separations, these are all my brothers and sisters, but I'm just using this as an example. That African Americans specifically, other than in pockets, and even in those pockets, I have some problems with that, the way that things are organized. But I'll just use Atlanta as an example. We do have the majority of black people in that city, but to my understanding and for what I see as true social economic infrastructure, we haven't really utilized that either. Because what we're doing is we're operating as individuals. We're operating as a scattered group of individualists instead of looking at ourselves as a nation of people. And you can be a nation of people and not be separatists because people get the terms confused. It's not about separatism. It's not about not interacting with other groups and other ethnic groups and other races, so to speak, and stuff like that. It's about having control over your group, your economics, your community, so that when you interact with someone, it's from a position of strength rather than weakness. So that's basically where I'm coming from. If you repeat what I'm saying, you'll kind of get an indication of where my next video is going to be going. Because I want to address this whole presidential run. I want to address the Barack Obama situation. That got nothing but love for Barack Obama, so don't even start. It's not about him. He's an individual, and he's an exceptional individual. But exceptional individuals are needed when your system is faulty, when your system's not operational. And right now, we don't have a fully functional system. What we have is an ad hoc group of scattered individuals aligned and associated by merely aesthetic purposes. It's like we all look the same, so that's it. What we do have is what I like to refer to as a Negro manufacturing machine. Our culture manufactures Negroes exponentially like gremlins. If a strong black man and woman are produced, it's sort of like the equivalent of Neo to the Matrix. But I'll get into this in further videos. Thank you, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.